Hey y'all, it's Customized Key and I'm back with another video for y'all. So I was going through and I was looking at some of the pictures that I wanted to put in here, and it's in this old iPod. Look at this, y'all. This iPod done been through it all, okay? It's so old, but you know, I was going through the pictures in here to try to figure out kind of what I wanted to put in here, and I realized that there was so much stuff that I kind of like left out that I do want to share with y'all. So there will be a part 3. This is part 2. There will be a part 3. Part 3 will be a story time about some drama on my study abroad. That was crazy, but I didn't even realize that I had so many more memories that I didn't even talk about with the first video. So I'm kind of going to use this space to just do that. Study abroad was in London, but there was a particular weekend that we went to Amsterdam, and let me tell y'all about my experience there because it was crazy, okay? It was crazy. So me and this girl named Danielle, and I have plenty of videos, I have plenty of pictures, so all of that stuff will be at the end, but I kind of want to talk about it first so that you all have a little bit of background, and then we can go into it. So we went to Amsterdam on one of those 4-day weekends that I talked about that were built into our schedule. Me and Danielle, we've known each other for quite some time. We knew each other before study abroad, but I didn't know that she was going to be there. Haha, surprise. So I, linked up with her and I was like, yeah, let's go to Amsterdam. And she was like, I never been, but let's try it. So we ended up flying over there. Flight was like maybe 45 minutes. It wasn't bad. We got there. And the airport, like from the airport to where we were staying at, I think we took the train in. I'm really not 100% sure on that part, but anywho, I got a few things that I kind of want to touch on as far as my Amsterdam experience. So we get there, we get to our hostel, and we're just walking around. Now, I don't know if you guys know this or know anything about Amsterdam, but weed is legal in Amsterdam. Truffles are legal, mushrooms are not legal. But it was definitely an experience to just be there and walk around and see stuff. It was very scenic. It's like this river that's there, and we took a lot of pictures when we first got there. We walked around a lot, and then it got time for the nightlife. So as I mentioned before, we were there for 4 days. Now I don't remember what we did every single day, but thankfully because of this iPod, a lot of things are still in order because of like the way that I took the pictures. So I'm kind of going to use my iPod to just guide me through this because that was so long ago, and I don't want to like tell the story out of order, so I know that using this will help me do that. We got there, and let's see, a video from one of the first nights when we were there. I basically was just like walking around. Now, in Amsterdam, you are not supposed to take pictures. You are not supposed to video record or anything like that. And, it's different. The first thing we did was go to the red light district because our hostel was not far from the red light district at all. So the red light district, for those of you who don't know, is basically like, I don't know, prostitute central or something like that. But prostitution over there is legal. So the red light district is basically, just imagine an alley, right? And every trash can in the alley is a glass door. So it kind of looked like we're going to use this door frame, right? And then imagine that there's glass and then there's a doorknob, right? Behind each glass is a girl, and she's dressed. She got on like this little skimpy little outfit, whatever. So, that was kind of what it was. And for a long time, like it was different little alleyways, because the way that Amsterdam is kind of set up, it reminds me of like, I don't really even know what to describe. It kind of reminds me of like a townhome complex. If you've ever been to like an apartment complex that has like townhomes or anything like that, it kind of reminded me of that. But the red light district, so any red light, it was a woman. Now they had blue lights as well, and those were for transgender people. So just being there, taking it all in, all I knew beforehand was that it was something that Ludacris talked about in one of his songs. I didn't know what it was, so I was just like, oh my God. Like there were literally girls, they would be in a thing like smoking cigarettes, they would be playing music. Some of them had like toys lined up. Some of them had like there was a back room and there was a door. Some people had their doors open. Some people had their doors closed. They had like a shower in there. Almost every single one had a bed. And then, whatever. So me and Danielle, we don't know how to really take this in. So we just approaching it. And, it was easy for them to tell, like, are you guys Americans and blah, 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 whatever. And we like, yeah, we not really knowing if we should say yes or we should say no. Some countries absolutely hate Americans. And I don't really know why, but just having that knowledge, I was like, let me kind of be a little bit cautious because I don't know what's going to go wrong. We did meet a lot of Americans over there. And there was this one guy who we met. He was from like San Francisco. I don't really know his name. I wish we could have got a picture with him, but he was really nice to us. He took us to a bar. We had a couple of drinks and then he just kind of showed us around. I guess he had been living there for a little bit of time. So he was just being really nice to us. And this was like at night. So it was like nightlife type of stuff. He was telling us like, don't take pictures. And this was after I had already like made a video. But, he was telling us like, don't take pictures. He told us about this story of some guy who came over there and he was taking pictures of the girls who was in the windows. Like he had never been there before or whatever. And it clearly says like, there's like this little sticker that's on like the window of like every single, whatever, like little room that they have. And it says no photography. And, so I was just like, okay, no photography, doesn't say no videos, trying to milk it. But he told us this story of this guy who got stabbed to death in the middle of the street because he took a picture of this girl. And I was like, what? Like the girl had to go to jail. Like, please tell me that. And he was like, no, she did not go to jail. And when the police arrived, they basically said, well, it says no photography. So you broke the law. She stabbed you to death. I mean, that's what happened. And I was just like, how could you be so insensitive? But it's just like, to a degree, it's like, look, these are their rules. You either follow the rules or you suffer the consequences. And I asked like, okay, so what's the backstory to that? And this is what he told me. He said, quite a few girls that are over here that are prostituting, that are in these brothels, that work in the red light district, their families think that they're away at school. They think that they're doing, positive, progressive things with their life. And what they're actually doing is coming over here and, selling themselves for money. And if their pictures or their images were to get out, it would, expose them in a sense. And that's not what they're looking for. So I could see the logic behind it, but still taking somebody's life over a picture, I just think is very inconsiderate of the value of someone else's life. I think that is just, that's just my personal opinion, but whatever. So fast forward. We having a good time, it kind of gets late, so we decide to go in. Now the next day we come out and we're like, you know what, let's really explore, because I think we got there like middle of the day, so we didn't really have like a whole lot of time. Now the next day we went out, we like, look, let's get ready to explore. Now before we got there, we did look up some stuff to say, hey, what can we find to do that's fun here? Now I knew that the Anne Frank Museum was in Amsterdam. So off rip, I just knew that I wanted to go there. I wanted to see what it was like. I had heard so many things about it, and I was like, I can finally experience this for myself. Let's do it, right? So we go to the Anne Frank Museum, and first of all, the line was really, really long. It was really, 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 really long. We got our tickets to go in, and then they give you this like little debrief type of thing. And then the museum is actually like through the house. So the flow of the museum itself like takes you through the house. There are different like little pictures that were up. There were different little like video clips from stuff. And then they will also have excerpts from the book that went along with, whatever. So like, for example, it was like before you got to the like hidden part behind the bookshelf that go into the attic, there was like the little quote, like the book, it describing what that thing was in the way that the book talked about it. So that was an experience. I know I mentioned in the video before, it was like really breathtaking to just be in this museum, because I had read this book and I was like, man, that's not true. But then when I got there, I was like, whoa. Like, it was an eye-opener. The museum itself had pages from her actual diary that were there. They were in this like glass casing, and they were very particular about the lighting in there, because after documents are exposed to so much light, it does have a tendency to deteriorate the artifact. And so the things that were in the museum were very protected. We did a lot of sightseeing over there in Amsterdam. As frequently as we have gas stations and liquor stores in the United States. I live in Chicago, so that's pretty frequent. If y'all not sure, if you're from any major city, Detroit, Memphis, anything like that, Philly, New York, as frequently as we have gas stations and street lights and like corner stores and liquor stores, is how often they have coffee shops. So coffee shops is where you go to like purchase, you know, space cakes, which are kind of like their equivalent of weed brownies or weed treats or edibles or whatever have you. You can also purchase marijuana there. You can purchase it by however much you want to get. That's what you can get. They have pre-rolled, so if you don't know how to roll your own, like, you know, cigarettes or joints or whatever, they have them pre-rolled for you. They come in, they have some with casings, they have different flavors. They actually have a menu. So when you go in, it's the equivalent of sitting down in a restaurant and saying, what do I have a taste for today? Let me look at the menu. Okay, these are your appetizers. It's the exact same thing. They tell you how much it is for a gram, for 2 grams, for like an eighth, or I don't know if you can buy an ounce. I'm not 100% sure. But I did do a lot of research before I went over there, because I was like, I've never done this before. Why not? Let's try it. So we did that. We walked around. We took some pictures. There are a lot of souvenir shops over there, so we had a really good time with that. Yeah, so we went into the souvenir shop. They had a lot of souvenirs there. We got a couple of magnets. And then we were just walking around, and we seen this guy. Like, we didn't know this guy. He just got the yelling at us from across the street. And he was just talking crazy, like, you girls got to be American. And we was like, and I was telling Danielle as we was walking up, I was like, we just gonna lie. We gonna say we from Brixton. I only know what that is because my auntie took me to some place in Brixton to get my eyebrows threaded for the first time. And that was an experience. That was bomb. And he ended up like just buying us food. We sat down and talked with him. So it was really good. He was creepy. He was crazy, but he bought us food and it was entertainment while we was there. So he was like, you know what? Why not? Let's just enjoy it. Video at the end. A lot of the shop owners, they were really nice. And then that night, we had people who we met at our hostel, which is where we stayed while we were there. And they were just really cool. We didn't know what to do as far as nightlife was concerned. So he was like, hey, do you mind if we tag along with y'all? It was like, we don't care. Come with us. We going to this bar. We going to this party. So we was like, okay, cool. So I had never like chugged a beer. I think it's called shotgun, if I'm not mistaken. But essentially what you do is you take a can of beer, you take a key, you poke a hole in the bottom part of it to kind of make a part to drink out of. And then you kind of put your mouth on the part where the hole is, and then you pop the top and chug the beer. Never done this before. I absolutely hate beer. At the end of this video, y'all will see I was kind of like, and it was because I was trying not to spit the beer out, because when you're drinking it so fast, you can't really taste it. But when you just have it sitting in your mouth, it's kind of like it starts fizzing, then you can smell it, and then it's like, oh, I want to spit this out. And they was like, no, she's going to throw up. And I'm like, in my mind, I'm like, no, I'm not going to throw up. But I was just trying to stomach the taste of it because I was actually getting to the part where I was tasting it. So that video will be at the end. And then from there, Danielle and I just kind of walked around. And we ended up going to this bar that was actually a drag bar. I don't know how we ended up there, but we was like, shoot, we in Amsterdam. Why not? So we go in. They're having this little drag show, whatever. It's an open bar and everything like that. Fast forward. So one of the drags went up there and they sang And I'm Telling You. And I don't know if y'all noticed, but that is my song. I love that song. And I can sing as well. So while they was, lip syncing to it, I was actually in the bar, like singing it full out. And at the end of it, they were like, did y'all hear her singing? Oh my God, somebody buy her a drink, yada, yada. And other people was like, I didn't hear nothing because it was in the back of the bar. Anywho, they end up asking me to sing. So I was like, oh my God, I'm so nervous. I'm in Amsterdam. And they was like, look, all you gotta do is sing this song. Depending on their response, you get free drinks for the rest of the night. You ain't gotta tell me twice. All right, let me flip through my inventory of songs so I can figure out what I'm gonna sing. Now, I was really nervous. I don't know why, because the church that I attend, it has a very big population. And I've sang at church before multiple times. I've danced at church before. I've been on drill team. So I'm used to being in front of a large crowd, but this was just different. But in my mind, I was like, you in another country, these people don't know you. You can go up here and do a terrible job. But just don't be out here acting crazy. So I ended up singing Rolling in the Deep by Adele. They loved it. It was great. Free drinks for the rest of the night. It was cool. Now, we stayed there for a little while, and then we left because the people that we were with, they was like, all right, look, I've had enough of this. Let's go somewhere else. So we go to this club. The club was popping, okay? It wasn't like American clubs, like, people are dressed up and yada, yada, whatever. People had on jeans, t-shirts, gym shoes, whatever. And we just had a really good time. Like, it was just so much fun. We had a really good time. So what ends up happening is that, we go to this bar, we have a good time. By the time we was wore out, so then we was tired. And I think that was about the end of our 4-day weekend. So we had pizza while we was there. We, Yep. A lot of the bars that we went to while we were walking around, a lot of people was like, are you American? And we like, yeah. They're like, you want free shots? We like, heck yeah. So we were going to these bars. They would give us free shots. What else happened while I was there? I'm trying to think. Oh, these places had live, so what we would call the strip club. They had strip clubs there, but it was like people was having live sex. And I was just like, what? Like, they was advertising it like live sex show with, Sassy Sue at $9.50. Buy your tickets now. And I'm like, what? So, just being in another country, just being involved in a culture was a complete experience. I had a really good time while I was in Amsterdam. Me and Danielle, on our last nights there, we was like, let's try to get a hooker and blah, blah. We just wanted to have a conversation with her. We was going to pay her just to talk to us. But nobody would open the door for us. They was not paying us no type of attention. One of the red light hookers tried to scrap with me because, I was there and I was inebriated. I was walking around. We were taking pictures and I had my iPod, but I was getting cold. So I'm walking around like this and I'm just freezing, whatever. And so looking back on it, it does kind of look suspicious. I kind of got it like this. And people are like, oh, she's probably recording. I wasn't. I was walking past this brothel. A brothel is basically like a whorehouse, essentially. It's a house that has a bunch of rooms and, whatever. So this girl, we was walking and it was kind of like a line because there was so many people. And it kind of stopped and I was just standing there and me and Danielle are talking. And then this girl comes out of her booth and she tries to snatch my iPod. So because I was inebriated, my reflexes were not as sharp as they usually are. And I must have turned around and I just was about to swing on this girl. And I was like, what are you doing? I snatched my iPad back. My iPod back. And I'm like, what are you doing? She's like, are you recording me? I was like, girl, you're not even cute. No. And I turned around so she could see the screen was back. I was like, it's not even on. And she was like, oh, you lucky. I said, no, you lucky. You're the one who's lucky. But, that kind of threw me aback. Wait a minute. I almost reverted back to the high school me on that one. It took me back for a second. So that was my experience in Amsterdam during my study abroad. I had a really good time. We had a lot of good food. We met a lot of good people. We met a lot of other people who just exposed us to a lot of different things. We shopped. We went around, we sight saw, and we had a really good time. So if you ever go out of town, you ever go overseas, and you want to go to Amsterdam, go to some of these places, walk around, explore, meet people, talk to people, change your name, make up a story, act crazy or something. They don't know you over there, but don't go to jail. So I am Customized Key. Thanks for tuning in with me. If y'all like this video, give it a thumbs up, comment, rate, and subscribe, and I will catch y'all on the flip side. This man want us to come talk to him. I'm about to turn the camera around so you can see it. Okay, hold on. Well, actually, I got a front camera.
What part of London we from?
I don't know. Let's lie and say we from Brixton.
Brixton? What if we ask questions?
I don't know. Just be like, we just moved here.
We stay around King's Cross.
No, we gonna say Brixton. Brixton is far, but it's in London. Look at him. Look at him.
Why can't we just say we live back in
We actually do are from London to a degree.
Are you from London?
A little bit, yeah.
Where about London?
Brixton.
Brixton! Nigga! Are you US?
Yeah, we live in the US, but we're here on like holiday, kinda.
Ah, okay, you live in the US, but you from London.
Yeah, we came here from London. We're going back to London on like...
We're here in Amsterdam on holiday.
No. I don't understand you.
What?
I don't understand you. Okay.
We came to Amsterdam for the weekend. We were in London. We came here for the weekend, and then we're going back to London.
Okay, you came for holiday on Amsterdam.
Yes.
Originally? Where you from?
US.
Yeah, US.
Oh, okay, US.
Yeah.
Okay. What about in London, Brixton?
What?
What about in London, Brixton?
Why did we come to London?
No. She said to me, she from London, Brixton.
Right, that's the area we stay.
Yeah.
But you're not from London.
Right.
No,
We're here on a study
But
abroad.
you've been to London in Brixton.
Yes.
That's where we
Yeah, this shit is all over me. I would have been mad if this was on my jacket.
Okay, ready?
So, tin it up and then pop the top. Put your finger under the tab.
Because that's what you're gonna.
Okay? And when you pop it up, you pop the tab at the same time.
Okay. One.
Multitasking. Oh god. Oh no, you have to drink it really fast. Tilt your head back more. Oh my god. Just break that whole thing. Uh-oh. Swallow it.
Spit it out!
Oh no, it's done.
Drag queen!